Welcome back, Hatt Clan Fam. I got an awesome video lesson that we're checking out today. We're going to be talking all about triads. Now, I know I've made videos about this in the past, but I'm going to talk about it more in depth, and we're going to talk about how to apply it as triads on every single string set. So I want to zoom in on the fretboard and break this concept down for you guys. Alright, so for this example, we're in the key of G. Now, in order to apply this concept to the neck, and we'll break it down here in a moment, is we have to understand a triad in its most basic form. So a triad can either be major, minor, diminished, or augmented. And we're going to be focusing just on the major aspect, and your goal is to be able to apply this with any form of a triad. And you'll be able to be able to do that once we break this concept down. But we're not thinking about extension chords, so we're not thinking about ninths, or 13ths or 11ths or any of that type of stuff. We're only thinking of a triad in its most basic form. So that would be a root, a third, and a fifth. That is a most basic form of a triad. So we're going to do this all in the key of G. So now, the key of G, the one chord, would be a G major chord. The notes that are made of that are a G, B, and D note. And that is our root, third, and fifth. So G, B, D. So in order to apply this, we need to figure out how we can basically plug in any of those notes and build a triad around it. So just remember that when we're going through this concept. Now, we have to understand that we want to apply this to each string set. So triads can be found all over the neck, and we're going to do this in each string set. So what I mean by that is, first we're going to only do triads on the 6, 5, and 4 strings. Then we're going to apply it on the string set of 5, 4, and 3 strings, the string set of 4, 3, and 2, and then lastly 3, 2, and 1. So basically you're going to use every single string set of 3 strings in a group to find these triads. Now again, we're going to start this with the key of G. But again, I want you to be able to take this concept and apply it to any specific key that you're going to be working on. And this is going to help you in arranging your music when you do like solo guitar. And it's going to also help you be able to play in bands, and instead of just playing these big blocky chords like, okay, well here's G here, here's G here, here's G here. We're going to be able to play it in all different aspects of the neck, just like I did in that intro. Now this first G chord that I can find here is the upper part of a regular G major chord, but I'm not even going to bar all my fingers down. I'm only going to play these first 2, 3 notes. So there we have G, B, D. So that's our first shape, G, B, D. Okay, so that's in root position, so G is the lowest note. Now I'm going to figure out what is the next note on the E string where I can plug in a shape. Okay, so here's a B here. That would be my next note that I can figure out that I can use. Well, check this out. There's another G chord. So now this is in what we would call first inversion. So now we have B in the bass, we have our D here, and we have our G here. And again, this is just on our top 3 strings. So we have G, G in first inversion. Now we need to figure it out where we have D in the bass. So we've already done this. Okay, so now here's D. So now we need to build a shape around that. Okay, well here's a G. Okay, so that would be my 10th fret on my A string. And well, here's a B. 9th fret on my D string. It's almost like an E major chord looking shape up on this set of strings. So there we go, we have our G major chord based on our first 3 strings. So G here, and G here. And then if you want, you can complete the octave, which is the same exact shape down here, but now we have to add in our first finger because we had an open D down here. Well, now we have to get it up here on the 12th fret of the D string. So that would be 15th on the E, 14th on the A, and 12 on the D. So now check out the shape, all again with the notes G, B, D. We have G, B, D here in root position. We have B, D, G in first inversion. Now we have D, G, B in second inversion. And now we have it back in root position. So that's all on the first string set. apply this concept down on the second string set. So strings 5, 4, and 3. Now look at that, there's a G major chord just like that. This is what we would call first inversion. So now we have our B in the bass, and we're starting from the 5th string. So we have 2nd fret on the 5th string, open 4th string, and open 3rd string. G major right there, all again, based out of that shape. Okay, so now we have to figure out where is the next note and line on the A string where I have either a G or D in the bass. Okay, well here's a D right here. Check this out. So we need to build a shape around this to make a G major chord. Okay, so I have a D here. Okay, I have a G here. So I'm on the 5th fret of the D string. Okay, now I have a B here. 4th fret of the G string. Bam, right there. And you can always tie these to a master shape too. So look at this. That's based out of your regular old G major bar chord. You're just playing the triad of it. So we have this. Okay, so now we need to figure out where the root position is, because we've already done it with B in the bass, we've done it with D in the bass. Now we need to find where the G's at. Well, here's a G. Here's our shape. There's our G major triad. And this is based out of our C shape position. But again, we only just want to play the basic triad in its most basic form. Now we want to complete the octave, right? So here we go. Here's our octave. This is based out of this shape. Alright, G shape again, just like down here. So we have B in the bass, like we did down here, and then we have D and G. So 12th fret on the D and G. So up to this point, we have this. On our 2nd string set, then we had this on our 1st string set. Cool, right? Now we need to figure out our G chord on the D, G, and B string. Well, check this out. Those notes right there, open, D, G, and B, that's our G major chord right there, just those open strings. So that's D in the bass with our open D. Now we need to figure out where we can find the next note, either a B or a G, right? Okay, well here we have a G note. 5th fret of the D string. Then we're gonna build our little triad. Bam, right there, little staircase shape. Again, based out of that bar chord shape. So everything can always be tied back to a master shape. But check this out. So here's G here, G here, G here. Again, this is based out of that C chord shape here. So what I'm doing here is now I have the 5th in the bass. So I'm on the 9th fret of the D, 7th fret of the G, and then 8th fret on the G, or B, excuse me. So that would be our B, D, and G notes. So now we need to do one more shape where we have D in the bass now. Right here, this is based out of our A chord bar shape of G major. And what I'm doing here is I just have a bar on the 12th fret of the D, G, and B strings. So we have pretty cool, right? So this is our octave. Now we have one more string set to complete this on. So now we have to figure out, we need to do it on the G, B, and E string. Check it out right here. Here's our first shape. We have B, we have D, and we have G. Again, tied out of our master chord shape. And there we go. So we have that shape. Now we need to figure out where we can find a G or a B. We need to find a B, right? So let's see, we have G, where can we find a B? Okay, so here's B. Where's our next shape? Right here. Here's our D, here's our G, and here's our B. It's like a D major chord shifted all the way up to 8th position. This comes out of our D major chord position shape of the cage system. So that's our G major chord shape in the D position. So we have this, and we have this. This is based out of our A major chord shape position. So we have 10, 12, 12 on the B, the G, and the high E. Bam, look at that. If you wanted to complete the octave, so just like that, we have now expanded your chord vocabulary over the entire neck. All of these shapes can be applied to any single key or chord that you may be trying to build this in. And this is applicable to major or minor. So let's say we were doing G major. Okay, well let's do G minor now. So all we have to do is we have to just move our major third back a half step. So okay. Okay, so now I need to find a B flat or a D on the 6th string. Okay, well I have a B flat here. Okay, so I need to find a D and a G. There we go. There's our G minor triad up in this position, right? Just how we had it here. Now it's here. So we had this. Okay, now we need to find a D. Okay, bam, here it is. There's our G minor triad. So this is going to expand your triadic knowledge all over the neck. And the way that I would practice this is I would do this in the circle of fifths and do this all across the entire string set, and I'll demonstrate. So we're going to start with C. Well, here's our C major chord in this lowest position with G in the bass. Okay, so I need to go C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp, E flat, B flat, F, and C again. And then, okay, I can do C again on the higher upper neck. Now if I was to do that backward, I would have C here, C here, C here, and I had C here, and then F, and then B flat, and then E flat. And then we did, let's see, where were we at? We did C sharp, F sharp, B, E, A, D, G, and back to C again. So I just cycled through the fifths, circle of fifths, with this chord progression. So I'm just going C, G, D, A, E, B. And again, I'm doing this while substituting each string set. So when I run out of fretboard, then I drop down a string set. Sorry. The important thing about this is once you start to really get this, this is really going to expand your knowledge of the neck. And you need to try to do this in every single key, run through the scale. You can do this in a major scale, for example. So let's just say we're going to pick the key of C. Okay, so here's C major. What's the next note in C major? What's the next chord in C major? Okay, we have a D minor. So what do we need to figure out here? We need to figure out where we can either find an A, F, or D to play an A minor chord. Well, here's an A, here's a D, here's an F. There's D minor. So C major, D minor. Now I need to find an E minor. I can just move the same exact shape up. E minor, right? Okay, so now I need to find an F. Okay, so where can I find an F around here? Well, okay, here's a C. There's an F major chord. So C, D minor, oops, sorry, C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, and then we're gonna have what we call a B half diminished. So we need to do this. Sorry, B half diminished. And then we'd be back to C again. And you can do these shapes all over the entire neck. So if I wanted to do C here, and I needed to find a D minor chord, well, I have an F here, and I have an A here, and I have a D here. So I could do this. I would have F, A, D, F minor right there, just by our first two strings. There would be E minor there. And I want you to take this farther than just cycling it through the circle of fifths. What you should do is you should take a progression like G, C, and D, and play that progression on every string set that you possibly can do. So let's say G, oh, C's here. Okay, let's say we have D here. And play it in multiple different areas all over the neck. You do that and it'll open doors in your playing, and it'll also help you connect scales to the shapes that they're based in. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say we have G here. There's a scale that's based around that. See, we take G here. there's a scale. That's based around that. Let's say you take G here. There's also a scale based around that. So you could have G, A, B, C, D. All based around that position. It's all about the triads. Alright y'all, that was the video. I hope you really liked it. If this is the first time you've come across my channel, I want to personally welcome you to the Hatt Clan Fam. We got an awesome little community building over here on my channel, and I'm super excited about it, and I want you to be a part of it as well. So consider subscribing and checking out all the links down below. And I'll see you in the next video.